So this is a reading for the collective being anyone who watches this video at the time they're watching this video. Oh, there, that's compiling in. That is a very interesting sensation. For the next 6 to 7 days. It is specifically being recorded Wednesday, July 7th. And the energies of the incoming Cancer new moon are starting to be quite palatable, and will be touched upon. Like there's their influences there. They can feel them. This is specifically what is most needed to be heard at this time to bring the highest and deepest good. There we go. First off, I'm going to give you guys a good look at it, and then I'm going to get a look at it. Meeting your twin. Like attracts like, kindred spirit, mirror. There's a lot of opportunities in relationships. It's all about relationships. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of relationships. And this isn't just... I know a lot of us will instantly go to soulmate, romantic partnerships when we hear that twin flame kind of thing in meeting your twin. But I'm really getting that this is a more broader aspect. These are twins. These are people in your life who'll be coming into your life that carry a similar vibration to you in some aspect. So there is something about them that is a reflection of you, that sort of, that bringing back that mirror, that sense of kindred, that sense of not being alone, that sense of not being alone, being bonded in some way. Like I don't know why there's just something about this person, or it doesn't even have to be a human, like this animal, this plant. Like there's something about this thing that is resonating so strong. Like that's the term I would use, is it resonates, just because I've been talking a lot in vibrations and energetics. But you may be like, they just get me. I just get something about them. And what it's bringing me back into awareness about is specifically this call to be mindful, to be aware of that interplay that can occur of projection and such when you meet someone who's like yourself. So just being aware of those patterns of projection that can occur, especially with those people that are showing you an aspect of yourself externally that's reflecting back on what you're working on internally. But there's also this deep want for a lot of you to address that loneliness and that lack of community, a lack of, there's a lot of people who are feeling like lighthouses. And yeah, I'm really being drawn to the image of lighthouses. A lot of people feeling like lighthouses in overlooking the dark sea, and just feeling that like I'm the only light here kind of thing. The storm's going on. I'm sending my beacon off. I'm warning the ships. But am I the only one doing this? Like, a lighthouse doesn't really get a chance to see other lighthouses and go out for cocktails and, wine shoot the shit with the coworkers or other people who've had those similar experiences. And I really see that there's going to be opportunities for a lot of people to connect with those that are doing similar things in a more substantial way. And the way that they're showing me this is that they're showing me the lighthouse in the storm, in the dark, and that sense of loneliness, the waves crashing, the I'm beaming it out. I'm showing where the rocks are. Look at the rocks, guys. Look at the rocks. Look at the rocks. Look at the rocks. Kind of focus. And it's funny because they're also showing me how it's an old flame lighthouse that the strength of the beam of the lighthouse is mirrors. And they're showing how the mirrors, that reflection back and forth, helps focus on the rocks. But there's this, like, I am sick of shouting rocks at everybody, and I need to go and do my own processing and stuff. And there's this opportunity, and the storm is over, the night is over, the dawn has broken, the sun's coming up, and you don't need the lighthouse's light to be shining when the sun is awake. When the sun is there, everyone can see the rocks. It's not dark, it's not stormy. The sun is there, the light's breaking through those storm clouds, the dawn is on the horizon. There's lots of beautiful colors, and it's like the sun is all these lighthouses that are here witnessing the lighthouse's work. And there's this aspect of this good job, and this your awareness of working through it, through the night, through the storm, being acknowledged. Yeah, so like attracts like, if there's new people coming in, or I'm also hearing, or people you haven't talked to or seen or heard from in a while, who, like, you know, those friendships just pick right back up, or such. That is definitely what's going on there. I'm gonna pick another card. Yeah. And then the next card is round and round, scatteredness, aimlessness, and repetition. And it's that carousel, which is funny because they're drawing me back to that image of the light of the lighthouse spinning round and round, warning the rocks and the cliffs. And it comes with this big warning of being aware that as these new opportunities, being aware that as these new opportunities are coming in, not to scratch that itch. Yeah, I totally scratched it instead of, not to scratch that itch in the same way, because just like when you scratch a mosquito bite, like, you're just gonna get itchier and it gets worse. And making sure that as these relationships fire up with their patterns of projection and reflection and learning and the process, like, you don't have to play those games anymore, is really what's being offered here. A lot of you, there's just been this real waking up, an awareness, an ability to hold the awareness, to see the patterns as they play out. That's really been occurring. And so that awareness doesn't stop the patterns from coming. It doesn't stop it. It doesn't stop it. Just seeing that you're walking down the road you've walked down and you told yourself you wouldn't dog the road is not going to stop you in your footsteps and force you to turn around and walk. You can keep walking that. So there's this real, with this opportunity of connection, there's this real reminder that don't do the same old shit because it's familiar, and because the loneliness is so much, because you're not where you were anymore, and you do have that choice. You do have that choice. And just because someone pulls at those strings of familiarity and kindredness, just because you can see yourself reflected in them and can witness them, and in hopes also be witnessed by them in this aspect of yourself you both share, doesn't mean that you need to repeat all of those old patterns and play out those games that you told yourself you weren't going to, that don't work anymore. They're not who you are anymore. And it's just an opportunity to just double check. Are you sure you're done with this? Are you sure you've cleared everything? Are you sure you had this experience enough times that you don't need to have it anymore? No. You're really sure. And that's what I'm getting there. We're gonna pull one more card, and that's who jumps out. So the law of balance, popped out. Harmony, equipoise, avoiding extremes. And that's really what was being touched on before, like the round and round patterns. Are you sure you want to play these same old games with these people in your life? Yeah, is this just someone who's familiar? But is it someone who you're gonna play out a pattern of behavior with that you've already played out with 6 other people? Is it the same pattern with a new face that this opportunity is, or is it something new? So just be very conscious and very aware and very open to the possibility that this is new and exciting, but that you need to pause and reflect. Otherwise, you'll find yourself going round and round and round until you do pause and reflect. I mean, it's your choice, really. You could go round and round the carousel. Carousels are fun for a reason, right? And at some point, you're like, you know what? I've passed the same tree and the same house, and this is looking at the back of the same horse for 6 goes now, and I'm kind of done with this, and it's time for me to go off this and get on a different ride. But to remember the law of balance, that it's all balance. It's all push and pull. I'm really getting the push and pull, and I'm seeing those waves again, and how those waves shift with the remembering the balancing act. I'm gonna get clarifier in there, because it's really, they're just shouting, remember to be balanced. Remember that in the excitement of seeing and being seen, and in the excitement of the like attracts right, and the kindred spirits and mirroring each other. And you can see that kind of on the back of this card, there's all the yin yang, and in this card there's almost the same symbol being made with the branches. Actually, this is really close to the symbol I drew on like every single piece of paper I ever had in junior high. But that's a balance, and that those intense relationships, those intense journeys with the people that like just sing to your soul are intense, and they can throw us out of balance, and they can, bring opportunities to make sure that they bring opportunities where you can become very scattered and aimless, and there can be a repetition and a repeating of lessons, and you've got to bring that awareness to pause and stop the freaking ride and get off, have a look at what's happening, pull up out of the situation, and go and approach it with more balance, and not lose that just because this person is like me and they found these solutions and they're doing it this way, that doesn't mean that your balance is to just go and follow and bliss out in the intensity to the point where you lose your groundedness, your centeredness, and your sense of self and balance. That's really what needs to be said. And I really, like, this could very much be friendship relationships. And, like, this is me going back up into my upstairs brain, right? My brain's like, and this could be having to do with, a lot of people with COVID restrictions lifting, and they're getting back in, and they're figuring out, oh, is this what it's like to go and have friends and hang out and do the things? Like, there's a lot of people who are like, what is this new normal? What is socializing after having not had to put on airs or masks for a year on the most, like, for those who haven't had to, or haven't had to as much, because you do have your work zonas and such. But we've gotten to be comfortable, we've gotten to be in cozy clothes, we've gotten to be ourselves and really get in touch with ourselves, many of us. I mean, those of us working to the dreads of stress and burnout, not so much, but like, we are different people because we are different people than we were at the beginning of any journey. We're different people than we were 6 months ago. We're different people than we were 3 months ago. We're different people than we were 5 years ago. We always have that opportunity to be different people. And we always have that choice, but there's a big choice point in, am I going to just do it the same way as I always have, or am I going to seize the opportunity that is coming here to do it differently and do it in a way that's in alignment with who I am at my core, who I am with my highest self, in alignment with my values, and not just because it's the thing to do, because there is no normal until you define what's you're comfortable normal with. And we are deeply influenced by the people we surround ourselves with. We become, just as the social creatures we humans are, we become, and we follow phrasing, and we share the values, and we imitate those that we surround us with. That's like the protective community culture thing. And so to have that mindfulness, that awareness, to recognize when we're falling into old patterns that we've decided we don't want to, and to always know that we can always pause, we can always pull back, and we can always reconsider. And anyone in any place that doesn't let you have the space to do that is probably not for you and has a different agenda. And underlining it all in the base is the karmic scales, justice, atonement, karmic balancing, which is what's going on now. Have you cleared that karma, and are you done with those games and those patterns? And are you done with, I mean, there's been a lot of stripping away of threads. A lot of illusions are falling around everywhere. And so if you can't be sure about the external world, then get pretty clear about the internal world and let that guide you. Oh, I'm sorry, Luna. I didn't mean to pick you up like that. I was just trying to move you back, and then you reached. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm Sheena from Cunning Heart, or on Facebook it's Cunning Care, because they won't let me change it. It used to be Cunning Care Heart, and then I felt like a Care Bear. Not a bad thing, but I need a little bit shorter. The cards I was using today are Mandy Peterson's, or at Mystic Mandy on Instagram's Healers of the Earth. And I offer energy and intuitive healing sessions, radical guide DNA activation. You can find out more on my website at cunningheart.ca. I'm on Instagram. I'll tag all that stuff below. And I really appreciate you taking the time to join with this video. So please feel free to leave a comment, anything, feedback, how it was feeling for you. And of course, take all of this and sift through it, and what works and what doesn't work. You do not need to take anything in this reading on as yours. You don't need to try and fit it into your life. If it's not yours, don't take it, because I don't want you to take that on. You got enough on your plate. Everybody does. Don't need to take on extra stuff from other people that doesn't resonate. Much love. You've got this. Thank you.